The Venice Museum and Archives gets a federal grant that puts it on a path to becoming an American Alliance of Museums accredited institution. What does that mean? SNN's John Woodruff is here to tell us about that and what this means for the Venice community. John?
Mike, only 2,200 museums in the country are AAM accredited. The first step in gaining accreditation is the Museum Assessment Program, a process the Venice Museum started this summer.
Well, it helps us to be a better museum.
The Venice Museum and Archives is at the start of a long, difficult road after receiving the Museum Assessment Program grant from the Institute for Museum and Library Services. For Venice, this is the first step in receiving accreditation from the American Alliance of Museums. Curator Michelle Harm calls accreditation a mark of distinction, one only held by two museums in Sarasota County, the Ringling and historic Spanish Point.
It would show that we've met certain standards of excellence in the museum field. It's the only place in town you can learn about the history of the Venice area.
From its multi-million-year-old fossils to the pages of a 1910 census.
Some of the early settler families, you can see their names listed, which were the Reeds and the Knights, the Daniels, the Blackburns.
The museum building itself is a unique piece of Venice history. It was first built in 1927 as an inn, then housed civilian employees of the Venice Army Air Base during World War II, and was converted into apartments before it was bought by the city of Venice in 1991. And then there's this.
At the time, this would have been, state of the art, whereas today it looks more like a torture device.
One of the many artifacts from the life of Dr. Fred Albee, a surgeon and influential figure in the early days of the city of Venice.
There's just a very, very long and rich history in this area.
Now, the museum is free and open to the public Monday through Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 4 in the afternoon.
So John, we get it. Accreditation is an important thing for the museum going forward. How long does the process take?
Well, it depends. Curators say it can take 3 to 5 years or even longer depending on the museum. And they will find out how far along they are in the process this spring during a peer review.